Hi, my name's Jay and welcome to my channel. In 2023, me and my family bought a rural cottage with 10 acres in the beautiful Welsh mountains. We plan to renovate our home, rewild the land, grow our own food and generally live a more sustainable life, all whilst having fun along the way. If you're new here, why not click subscribe, follow our journey and escape to rural Wales.
Hi you guys, welcome back to North Wales. I hope you're all well. So in today's video I'm going to show you how to make sourdough bread. It's a recipe that I've been using probably for about 3 years now. And this is my sourdough starter that has been with me since that first time that I actually made the bread. And I make it every single week, sometimes twice. It is absolutely delicious. Now if you've not made sourdough bread before, you need one of these, which is a sourdough starter. And the way you make it, I'll just briefly go over it, but there's loads of videos online. But the way that I do it is you add equal part flour and water. After a couple of days, you halve it and then re-add equal part flour and water again. Keep doing that until eventually it starts to bubble. And once it starts bubbling, you've got to keep feeding it and keep it alive, just like a Tamagotchi. Now, I've got two types of recipes. I've got traditional sourdough bread and I've got a sandwich loaf as well, which is really good and great for kids' lunches. Today I'm going to be showing you the traditional sourdough loaf, but if you enjoy it, maybe I'll show you the other recipe too. If you guys give it a go, feel free to take a photo of it and tag me in on it or send it to me on Instagram. I'd love to see. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you. Let's go. So what you guys are going to need is 160 grams of sourdough starter. You'll need 230 millilitres of water. If you come from an area with poor water quality, try and perhaps distill it or filter it first. 400 grams of strong white flour and 8 grams of salt. And that is literally it. So the first thing you need to do is feed your sourdough starter. The reason why you need to do this is so that you activate the yeast within your starter. I usually do this first thing in the morning so that it has all day to grow. Obviously, depending on where you live, your starter might grow at a different rate to where I live in Wales, it's a little bit cooler. If you live in a warmer climate, then it will activate faster, so bear that in mind. I just add in equal parts flour and water, give it a really good stir until it's actually quite wet. And once that's done, cover it, make sure that you allow air to flow in and out, and essentially leave it on the side and let it do its thing. You know it's done when it looks nice and bubbly like this. Then once that's ready, add 160 grams of your sourdough starter to a bowl. 230 millilitres of water, the salt, and add 400 grams of strong white bread flour. The next thing you want to do is bring it all together. Work it in, mix it up as best you can inside, it saves on the mess later. tip it out on the side, make sure that you get it all. Now this is a very wet dough. It's going to be a little bit strange in your hands, maybe not what you used to. You might want to add in flour, but don't, just trust the process. My advice for kneading is just keep hitting it as hard as you can for as long as you can until it turns into a nice sort of silky sort of texture. Just keep going, keep going. If you don't want to knead it, feel free to use a food mixer. I don't, but yeah, if you want to do that, no problem at all. Just stick it on the highest setting for about 12 minutes and just let it do its thing. Now you know that it's done when all of the fibres are interlinked. You sort of pull it apart and it's still connected via the fibres. Also, when you bring it together into a ball, you'll feel that it's got this silky smooth sort of feel to it. That's absolutely when you know it's done. Don't know how long it might take you if you're kneading it by hand. It depends on your strength, depends how much you're pushing it, depends on your technique. But once you're done, just put it into a ball, put it in the bowl, cover it and leave it on the side for about 3 hours. Okay guys, and whilst we wait for that, I just wanted to talk about another channel called Frankie of Grid. I'll put a link in the description. Now these guys are brilliant. They're actually originally from around here in North Wales, but they moved down to central Portugal to start a homestead, an off-grid homestead. And their channel is wonderful. It's very artistic. They put a lot of effort into it. Their project is wonderful, and they're really nice guys as well. And Carissa is a fantastic artist, and I've seen some of her art online over the last year or so, and I just thought to myself, I need to ask her if she would do a logo for me for my channel. So I asked her, and although she's really busy, she made an exception for me and actually designed my logo. You probably saw it at the start of the video. I've put it on my Instagram now as well, and I'm just so super thankful to those guys for doing that for me. So yeah, if you've not seen their channel before, I'll put a link in the description. As I say, get over there, check them out. Every single Saturday morning they release a video in the morning, I think about 8 AM in the UK on the dot, and it's just a wonderful watch. I find myself kind of meticulously watching every single bit because it's just put together so well. Great music. They film their animals. They've got, I think, 2 dogs, Frankie and Jogo, and I think 2 or 3 cats as well. They're great at growing vegetables. Portugal is absolutely gorgeous. They've got olive trees. They're making wine. Great channel. Get yourself over there, check them out if you haven't already. I'm forever in debt to Carissa for making my amazing logo. But yeah, that's all I want to say. And if you're watching, guys, thank you so much. Much love. So after 3 hours, check the dough. Should have grown in size. Also get yourself a Pyrex dish as well. You don't have to use this, but I use it. I just find it so much easier actually, and I'll explain why a little bit later. Now what you need to do is get the dough out, put it on the side, and you need to do something called knocking back, which is essentially getting all of the air out of it, all of the carbon dioxide that's built up inside. It just makes the end product so much better. So as you saw, I just pushed it all out flat, and now I'm just bringing the sides back together into a ball afterwards. And then I'm sort of rolling it tightly and turning it round in 45-degree turns,
just bringing it back to myself tightly to turn it into a ball again. As I say, this is called knocking back. Google it. It's quite an important part of making bread. So get a tea towel, stick it inside the Pyrex dish. This is where your dough is going to sit. Put some flour in, sprinkle it all over, don't be shy. This will stop it from sticking, and it will also give it a nice finish at the end. I'm using a textured cloth here. You'll see why at the end it leaves a nice sort of textured finish on the bread. Drop it in. Close it up. Don't push it on top of the dough, just leave it loose and put it in the fridge. Now you could just leave it on the side for 3.5 hours and then cook it. But as the time is about 7 PM right now, what I'm going to do is stick it in the fridge overnight, and then it will be ready in the morning. So the next day, have a look at it. It should have increased in size. If it has, then you know you've done a good job and the yeast has served its purpose. Get the top of the Pyrex dish, place it on top. So what you're going to do is you're going to flip it. Pull the tea towel out and be confident with it. Nice and quick. Just like that. Now if you put enough flour on top of the cloth before, it should be an easy job getting it off. But if you're like me and you didn't put enough, or you didn't spread it enough, then you're going to have a bit of difficulty. As you can see, there's a small bit on it, but it's not the end of the world. It will still come out okay. Now get yourself a very sharp blade. What you want to do is confidently cut yourself some shapes in it. Enjoy it. Try out different shapes, try out different things. I'm making a sort of wheat pattern, but there's loads and loads of different ideas online. Just get online, have a look, enjoy it. Now put the bottom of the Pyrex dish on the top so that it's upside down. Now put it in the oven. Make sure you've preheated it to about 230 degrees Celsius, that's about 440 degrees Fahrenheit. You really need it to be hot for it to really kick up in size in this first phase. Now after 25 minutes, open the oven door. Take it out and remove the lid. Be very careful because it's hot. Now the humidity in the dish has helped it grow, but for the crust to get nice and crusty, it needs to brown off. So what you need to do is remove the lid, place it back in for another 20 to 25 minutes. And now for the best bit. Take it out the oven and place it onto a chopping board. Be careful because it's hot. It's absolutely beautiful. Look at it. I'd say give it about 10 minutes just for it to cool down a little bit. And then just tuck in. That's what I do. Delicious.
too good.